Good morning and welcome to Ti22, my little detailing channel where we hope to show you some of the work that I do and also some tips and tricks and some training stuff, all sorts of stuff really. So if you're not subscribed, be mega if you could, and if you are, thanks. And let's get on with this little wash guide. So, welcome to the Ti22 wash guide. I've just put this together because obviously the most common question we get after detailing a vehicle is how do I keep it looking so good? So I've just put together this sort of video guide to help answer that question. So here I am washing off this brand new RS3 Saloon that I've just given back to the customer actually. And yeah, hopefully that can help guide you through how I recommend you look after your car. So the number one thing that we're trying to do here is remove as much dirt from the car as possible before we use the contact methods of cleaning, like physically putting your wash mitt on the car and physically drying the car. So snowfoam is the number one thing to help us do that. As much dirt as you can remove by foaming and washing is a good thing because then there's less grit on the paintwork to potentially rub around and cause swirl marks. So snowfoam, very straightforward. You can Google it if you need more information, but basically foam the car, let it sit, and then rinse it all off. Put it on a dry car. It's not very good for photography or for videography, but what I've done here you can see is the car is in the shade. So that's also the sort of one of the top tips is never do this out in the sunshine or direct light because everything just dries quickly and you end up chasing yourself and causing watermarks and all sorts of stuff. So in the shade. So apologise for the bad picture, but it's for a reason. So yeah, number one thing is just rinse, rinse, rinse. Spend as long as you can on this stage, rinsing, getting all of the loose dirt off the vehicle. So once you've foamed and rinsed, the next thing is to get on with the dirtiest area of the car generally, which will be wheels and arches. We want all of that aggressive dirt in that area cleaned and gone before we then start on the more delicate painted areas of the rest of the vehicle. So I've just gone around and sprayed all of the wheels with the Auto Curator's wheel cleaner, but you can use your wheel cleaner of choice. Spray the wheels and then obviously a really good rinse. There's a bit of steam coming off here because I'm using our 50-degree 50-degree heated water pressure washer. I'm sure not many of you will have the luxury of that there, but you know, just cold water is absolutely fine. The main thing again we're just trying to do is get as much dirt off and out the way before we then go in and clean the rest of the bodywork. So on with the first bit of proper cleaning, I guess. So we've already sprayed wheel cleaner on and then rinsed it off. So we're going again then with the wheel cleaner on the main bit of the wheel. And then we're using something which you should always have around here, which is G101 all-purpose cleaner at about a dilution ratio of 10 or 12 to 1. And we're using this to clean the inside of the wheel arch and the tyre. Nice liberal soaking there. Just letting that soak in. And then we're getting a bottle brush now, what I would call a bottle brush, just for the first thing which I like to clean on wheels, which is the backs of the wheels. There are also the wheel woolly style brushes which are excellent. On this car there's not a lot of clearance between the caliper and the wheel, so I prefer this type of brush to get in there and get in that gap. You can use a wheel woolly style, but you have to move the car to make sure you get that section of the wheel. The only thing with this type of brush is it does have some hard wire edges, so put some tape on them and be aware of them to make sure that you don't cause any damage to your wheel. Other than that, just get in and scrub the backs. So then we're getting a nice arch brush, nice big arch brush, giving those arches a nice big scrub. This car was new and had just been driven down from Glasgow, so not too much under there, but obviously through the lovely British winter, there can be a lot more. And then finally, we're just getting our little 1-inch round brush there, little detail brush, to do the tyres on this car, which are nice and low profile, so we need a small brush like this. If they're bigger, or if it's an off-roader or a Land Rover or a Range Rover, I tend to use the arch brush to scrub the tyre. So we're just making sure we now get everything that we didn't get with that bottle brush or when we did the inners. So just trying to get a good scrub everywhere, get into all the little nooks and crannies, get all in and around the valve and everything. And then just as I come back up to where I started, the final thing I'm just going to scrub is get as much of the caliper as I can through the spokes there. These lovely red RS calipers do look amazing when they're all cleaned and nice. So we're just going to finish off cleaning out all the little brake hoses and everything. And then I'm just going to grab that bottle brush on a nice open wheel like this. You can just get down and do the inside of the caliper as well, between the hub and the caliper. So with that all scrubbed and clean, obviously we're just going to grab the jet wash again now and rinse that all off. So with our body rinsed and all our wheels clean now, before we actually wash the car, the last thing that we do is we just try and get clean all of the little areas that are difficult to do or that need some extra washing before we get our wash mitt out. So a different brush this time, another little detail brush that's clean. And all we're doing on these is just all the little nooks and crannies. The grill, every car is different at this stage. Some require not a lot of work, some require quite a bit. But great for doing badges, just all of the gaps around headlights. The fuel filling area is another one that it's nice to keep clean. Obviously just double check that your fuel filling cap is closed, as you'll see I'll do in a sec. Just always a little check there to make sure you don't tip water into your tank. But yeah, anything like this. You can also do the door shuts. Every car is different, but if you think of it as this stage is designed to allow you to clean all the areas that would be difficult to do with a wash mitt. So, you know, that rear badge there, underneath that bit of the number plate, just around the edges of the lights. This may not be something that you do every time you wash the car. Maybe once a month you do a slightly more intensive wash. But obviously pre-detail, this is definitely something that we do every time. So, re-rinse all of those again, and then we're on to the proper wash stage. So 2 buckets. What that means is we have 1 bucket with just plain water in, 1 bucket with our wash mitt and some soap. Where I sort of differ on this process, I guess, than the one you might read about is, as you can see there, so I've taken the mitt out, we've gone from the soapy bucket and we're washing a section of the car. What I'll then do is put that mitt back into the clean water bucket. So dip it in there, James, there we go. And then I'll flick off that dirt onto the floor. So as you go through the wash process, that dirty water bucket will get more empty because I flick the water. I just don't want the dirt. So the dirt that's just come off the car, I want to get out of circulation as fast as possible. So we put it in there and then I'll wring it out and get rid of that dirt. And then obviously we speed up. So you want to wash the car, cleanest area to dirtiest, maybe get a separate mitt for all of the sills and under the bumpers and all those extra little areas like that. And work in sections. The biggest thing I see people doing on training days or when we help them with this side of the process is trying to do the whole car or something when it's the middle of the summer. Even if you're in the shade and it's warm, you'll need to split the car up into maybe as many as 4 sections. So the final part of the process, drying. Believe it or not, this is where the most damage to, swirls, when we talk about damage, this is where the most swirl marks can be inflicted. So this is the pat dry method here. So this is the least likely to damage your car. So pat dry, pull the towel off, nice high quality towel. This is the Auto Finesse one. However, there are many others that are high performing. You can then do a straight line wipe if you want to. Not a lot of pressure on the towel, you know, still let the tool do the work. So just a very light pressure, very slow. And what you'll find is the towel will pick up 95% of the water. Any little film that's left will evaporate very quickly anyway. So, and this is super important to just, you know, stay out of the sun, don't let anything dry out, and just take your time. So just a final little look around the car now, just to show you literally straight afterwards into the sunny bit of the bonnet. You know, the car's brand new. We haven't done anything to it really, but there are no swirl marks that have been inflicted there by the wash process. And this lovely Crystal Panther black is already starting to look really nice. So just a quick and dirty product review here. So you can see there's the wheel cleaner that we used in the video. There's our APC, which is pre-mixed at about 10 to 12 to 1 dilution. We've got our Geon snowfoam and a separate snowfoam lance there. In this, the soap I used was the IGL wash. You know, there are well-used buckets there, which still do a great job, but one with plain water in, one with our wash mitt in with our soap solution. So yeah, just when we got the car in and it was, you know, perfectly dry, just wanted to look under some more critical lighting, A, to show off this beautiful Crystal Panther black, but B, to show you, you know, it's pretty swirl free. 900 miles on the car, just been driven down from Glasgow the day before. There were a couple of isolated areas where obviously the dealer had done a few bits, but you know, you can see it was in really good nick actually. So it's at this point on this car where, for a full detail, we would start the decontamination process with claying. However, what you might want to do is just go around it with a quick detailer, just to double check there's no watermarks or just to top up that protection. So I hope that video was useful for you. Not the be all and end all. There are, with detailing, you know, there are a million things you can do if you want. You can rinse more, you can do many little things. There's hundreds of different brushes to use, hundreds of different chemicals to use. What I wanted to do was show you a safe wash process that, you know, to give you a bit of a guide. You can do lots more reading when you come in, or if you want to message me, by all means ask some more questions. That was basically the process that I was taught 11 years ago when I was approved as a Swiss Wax detailer. It's a great start, and lots and lots of customers, lots of you guys out there are using that process and bringing me back swirl-free vehicles, you know, years after we've detailed them. So it works. Hopefully it was simple enough. Didn't want to get too crazy geeky for you. It's always difficult to know where to pitch these things. So yeah, hope that helps you keep your cars nice and swirl free. Any questions, let me know. Obviously it was a bit quick and dirty, so it was all the final shots there were just on my wash bay floor. So yeah, we don't keep anything too pretentious for you. We like to show you how it is. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. If you're not subscribed, got to ask, please click the old subscribe button. If you are, thanks ever so much. Hope you enjoyed the video, and keep an eye out for the next one. Have a great weekend.